Welcome, and thanks for downloading our video on understanding your motivation. We're going to address two concerns in this video. One of them is understanding your motivation and how your motivation can affect the process going forward in selling your property. And then the other thing is understanding the 5 things that you need to address when putting your property on the market and making sure that they're all in line with each other so that one of them doesn't disrupt your successful sale. There are 2 things that motivate any seller when they put their property on the market. One of them is time, the other is money. Usually sellers have a combination of both, but one always takes precedence. You've either got a seller who needs to move their property quickly, or you've got a seller who wants to make sure they get the most out of their property. In order to make sure we address that concern, we're going to want to look at the 5 keys to a successful sale. Let's address those 5 issues that contribute to a successful sale of a property. First and foremost is price. Obviously, if you put your property on the market for a low enough price, you're probably sure to lose money, but it will sell very quickly. On the other hand, if you price your property too high, you'll most likely stay on the market for a long time. It will be viewed as market worn, and you may not get your full asking price. The second thing that you need to address is terms. Terms is slightly less well known, and a lot of people don't consider it, but it's very important when it comes to attracting the right buyer for your property. Are you offering some down payment assistance or owner financing? Will you accept an FHA, VA, or conventional loan? You could offer closing costs paid for by you, the seller, at closing, a home warranty, pay inspections, a repairs or decorating concession. There's a number of different items that you can address and offer out to the buying public to make your property more affordable. You also might want to consider what you're offering out to the real estate buying public. What are most people offering buyer agents as far as commissions in your area? Perhaps consider a bonus on top of that and market to the real estate buying public. In any case, you're going to want to make sure that your terms are in line with what's minimally being offered in your market if you're interested in selling your property anytime in the near future. The third key to a successful sale is making sure you address the condition of the property. Not just what the property looks like from the street, but also from the interior. Are you going through the property and removing all objections before you're showing it to potential buyers? Or are there a few things that you want to go ahead and make concessions for at closing that you're going to allow the buyer to address? If that's the case, remember, if you've got $5,000 worth of repairs, you generally have to let them have $7,500 at closing, because you need to pay the buyer for the inconvenience of having to do those repairs after closing. All that being said, make sure that your price, terms, and condition are all in line with each other, because if one is out of balance, it'll ruin your sale. The fourth key to a successful sale is addressing location. And everybody says location, 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 but what we mean is what's the market like in the area where the home you're trying to sell is. And is that market a large market that covers many square miles, or is it a smaller market that really just addresses one neighborhood? You need to make sure that your price, terms, and condition are in alignment with what's happening in your local market. Are things selling quickly there? Are things staying on the market a little bit longer? Are the properties, most of the other properties, updated in your area? Are some of them not so updated? Is yours more updated than others? You need to address these concerns honestly and make sure that everything is in alignment. Otherwise, you'll be outside of your window of opportunity in order to have a successful sale. The fifth and most important key to a successful sale and making sure that you get the highest price and the fastest sale is exposure. As a private seller, you're going to want to take advantage of all the different items that you have at your disposal in order to expose your property to as many buyers as possible. Obviously, the more buyers that you have walking through the property, the better chance you have to get a faster sale and also to get the most the market is willing to pay for it. So be sure that your plan for exposure and your budget for exposure matches what you're trying to do as far as price and motivation are concerned. Speaking of that, let's take these 5 elements and draw them back to our motivation, whether it's price or whether it's time. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. If you've got plenty of time to have your property on the market, you might want to ask a little bit more than the market's bearing right now as far as your comparable sales are concerned. You might consider throwing out some conservative terms, so maybe just an FHA, VA, conventional loan, no owner financing or seller paid closing costs or personal property thrown in the deal to start off with. As far as the condition of the property, You can wait till you get some feedback from potential buyers and see what they say about the property and address any of their condition concerns as you move forward. And last but not least, you might be okay with the exposure plan of putting an ad in the paper, sticking it on a website, and sticking a sign in the front yard. This is someone who's got plenty of time. However, if you're short on time and you need to move the property faster than other properties are moving in your market, first and foremost, you're going to want to get aggressive on price. Our recommendation is you make anywhere from a 10 to 15% discount on your property in order to attract as many buyers as possible. You're going to want to make sure you offer attractive terms, maybe paid discount points, seller paid closing costs, or down payment assistance. You also might offer a bonus out to the local real estate agents to entice them to come out and show your property. Again, you're going to want to make sure that everything is in alignment with your location, and you're going to want, if you need to move quickly, you're going to want to make sure that you're outpacing price, terms, condition, all the other properties in your area. And last but not least, with exposure, you're going to want to spend a little bit more money here, but it will make you money in the long run. You're going to want to make sure it's in the paper every single day, maybe pay to have it on multiple websites. You might even consider calling a limited service brokerage and paying them $500 or $1,000 to make sure your property gets on the multiple listing service in your area. These are two different game plans for two different types of sellers. You need to decide which seller you are and choose the right game plan for you. At the end of the day, understanding your personal motivation, whether it's time or money, and how that relates to the price you're going to offer, the terms you're going to put out to the buying public, the condition that you're going to keep the property in, how that relates to your market, and your exposure plan is the first and most important step in putting your property on the market. You just want to save yourself headaches from missteps during the selling process by doing a little planning and thinking up front. You've just taken your first important step towards successfully selling your property. I really do wish you the best of luck.